I think you can see that every design in some way like typography. It's really part of your design. Give like a lot of personality and consistency to your design. So I think a lot of designers really wanna spend more time to select your typography to your project. I got this mug a long time ago when I was in Barcelona, and I really like it because it's the classic Helvetica. And today we are gonna understand how we can apply this inside a sketch project, because this is really important. If you think about when you start designing any type of project, you're gonna defining the headings, the paragraph, all those little details. Even on the footer you have like a legal informations, or maybe even for the footer you have like links to the other parts of the website. Pretty much you're gonna use a lot of like a different font sizing and colors, and this could be tricky if you don't decide in the beginning all kinds of labels, all kinds of headings that you're gonna use for the project, because if you don't try to organize in the beginning, later on for sure you're gonna start basically trying to define in every screen. And if you need to manage this later, it's gonna be really difficult, because it's almost impossible to remember how many different types, size, colors you are using. So today we are gonna learn how I handle this and how I start doing this only for the desktop, okay? I'm gonna do another tutorial how to organize the same typography for mobile projects. Let's start. The first thing that you have to install on your computer is Sketchpack software. I think we did this before. And make sure that you have this new plugin called Rename It. This is gonna help us a lot when you need to rename layers or symbols and everything that you have to keep really organized. And before we already installed Styles Generator, I think so. So just make sure you have these two plugins, Rename It and Style Generator, okay? Let's open the sketch. Okay, I'm gonna create a new file here on my sketch file and sketch. I'm gonna create a new file on my sketch and I'm gonna save this as, it's gonna be a tutorial. I'm gonna just save it. The name of this document is gonna be typography, okay? I'm gonna save here at Ironhack. Okay, first thing that we are gonna do, the first page we are gonna rename it, this one, as headings, and we are gonna start adding right here all the headings that we are gonna create. To do this, let's start creating a first artboard as a desktop HD. You just place this one, and we are gonna create another one just on the side. The first one we are gonna rename this one to light, because this is gonna be for our light mode. You can just light mode, you can rename. And this one to the dark mode. To the dark mode, what we can do is just changing the background color. So you can just select the artboard and just go here and change the background color. Okay, perfect. The first question that everybody asks me in the beginning is how we should start defining the font size. To help you to decide that, usually I like to understand the first concept about sizing. I created this spreadsheet a long time ago, and I'm gonna add this link on the description, so you can just copy this spreadsheet to you, and this is gonna help you to understand a little bit the sizing. W3C is the consortium that define a lot of the rules for the web, so they created a kind of guideline. So the paragraph, if you add any type of paragraph on your project, what's gonna happen? Let me open here CodePen. Okay, let's go back here. So they decided the sizing here for each one of the tags that we use on the HTML website. Here it's from the heading 1 to the heading 6. This is the default sizing they created for heading and the paragraph. If we go here just to compare a little bit, you're gonna see that 1 EM it's equal 12 points, 16 pixel, and it means 100%. So 1 EM by the end is 100%, and this means 16 pixel, okay? If we just do like this comparison, you can see that this paragraph, the classes A is linked, is 16 pixel, this B is 12 points, and 1 EM is gonna be 100%. If I use the points at 16, it's not gonna be the same result anymore, because the 16 points is gonna be a little bit bigger, you see? So to be the same size, in points is gonna be 12 points. So let's go back here and let's start organizing our headings. Before we do that, the first thing that we have to do is finding a font that we wanna use. I already selected 2 fonts that I like to use. One is Playfair on Google Font. You can just go at Google Font and just find one font that you like a lot. And on the bottom here, you can see some suggestion that Google show you how to pair your font. You can use Playfair to the headings, but maybe for the text you're gonna use a different body font. I like actually Playfair a lot, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the regular font to my body, and I'm gonna change this one to bold or black maybe on my headings. And I'm gonna use another font called Rubik to use inside the forms, inside the like a call to actions. And that's gonna be a little bit different, because I think this kind of font is not gonna be really nice to read, especially if you have like specific forms, input fields, buttons. Maybe this is not gonna be a good choice. Let's go back here. I already installed my fonts before, and I'm gonna start adding my headings here. First thing, you just come on insert and you have the text, or you just type T, that is gonna open the text to start typing. I'm gonna just click here, I'm gonna write heading 1. Let me just zoom in here a little bit, and this is my heading 1. The heading 1, I'm gonna already change this one to Playfair. I'm gonna use Playfair, and I'm gonna use a black. To the heading 1, let's go back to the spreadsheet. I'm not gonna use the size from W3C. I'm gonna use the sizing for material design, because material design is a little bit more up to date nowadays. If you think about the heading 1, now it's 96, and W3C defined this a long time ago, so it's only 32 pixels. It's really small comparing to 96. And why it happened? This happened especially because a long time ago the resolution of each one of the screens, it were different from now, right? Nowadays we have like a high definition screens, and this is like if you use a really small size for a font. I think you already experience it when you go to a website on a mobile version, and usually mobiles, they have like a high resolution, and you see like the font is really small. When it happens is because the font is already defined on pixel, so it's a fixed size. So the best practice when you are starting coding is not using a fixed size like points or pixel, but using EM. EM, at least you know that is gonna resize the font to your project in comparing to the resolution of the screen. So this is the most important part. So when you're starting creating all the documentation to developers, it's really important that you show them like a 1 EM is gonna be 16 pixel to me. Or maybe you're gonna change. If you see nowadays like a websites like Medium, the paragraph is not 16 anymore. They use paragraph as 21 on Medium, and some other websites they use as 18 or 20. Pretty much you have to research a little bit and try to compare inside your project how you're gonna use that. And the Bootstrap is a platform, a framework to develop, created by Twitter team a long time ago. And if you see what happened, they created the heading 1 as 40 a long time ago. But Google, when they launched material design, they already updated all the sizing, and basically the heading 1 now is 96. But Bootstrap, because it's an old platform, they couldn't update H1 right away to 96, because if other people are using the same framework, probably what's gonna happen is gonna break other website, right? Because imagine that I designed a website like a few years ago and the heading ones was 40, and now Bootstrap updated the framework and everything is gonna be like super large. That's what's gonna happen. So because of this, they created a specific class. So when you see on the CSS like the dot in the beginning, or here like dot lead, it means this is a class. This is not a default tag from the HTML documentation. So material design, actually all of these is classes actually. Okay, I can just even update this to you guys. This should be like a dots. Okay, I'm gonna update this for you. But basically everything from the headings is gonna be the default size. So I'm gonna use the sizing from material design to start. So let's go. The heading 1 should be 96. So let's just move around a little bit, and I'm gonna change here to 96. Okay, good. Now it's getting really big. That's okay. I'm gonna now duplicate this one here, and this is gonna be heading 2, and I'm gonna do the same thing to duplicate. To duplicate, basically I just press Shift and Option, so you can just duplicate the layer. Heading 3, heading 2, heading 1. So let me just go back here and just check the sizing. So it's gonna be 60 and 48. 60, let's change here, 60, and this is gonna be 48. And let me just duplicate this one again. It's gonna be the 4, 5, and 6. Let me just rename heading 4, 5, and 6. But now we need to just come here and check the heading size. It's gonna be 34, 24. 34, and this one is gonna be 24. And heading 6, we have 20. 20, like this. Okay, so we have heading 1 to heading 6 already created here. Of course, maybe on a light mode you're not gonna use like black 100%, so maybe you can use like a different color here. I'm gonna just use like a maybe 333. It's gonna be a good color. This is gonna be my color. Now you can see that everything is organized like this, heading 1 to heading 6. Let's start organizing a little bit. That's another thing that is tricky about Sketch, because once you create one of like the text style, you have to save also the information if this text is aligned to the center, left, or right. So we are gonna do this in the beginning. First thing that you have to do, instead of starting creating the text styles right here, what I'm gonna do is renaming a little bit here the headings. I have a specific rule that I use to do that. Let's just click here, and I'm gonna rename this as a light, because just to remember that is a light mode, slash, and I'm gonna use the heading slash, and I'm gonna add the alignment that is left. Okay, so you can do the same thing two other ones, like this and light. If you do one by one, it's gonna take a lot of time. So what you can do also is just select all the 4 layers and use the plugin that we installed, the rename it. So if you go here on rename it, you have like the 3rd option, find and replace layers and artboards. I'm gonna click here. It's gonna open this window and you have like select layers, and I'm gonna find headings. And what you can do, you can just replace the heading. Here I'm gonna add light / heading, and once you rename this one, it's gonna just rename everything for you like this, super fast. For the other ones, maybe we need just to type, because even if you use rename, you have to do one by one. Oops, it's not light, it's left, 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 left. This. You guys remember how to create layer styles that we did before? Text styles is the same concept, the same idea of layer style, but basically only for typography. So I'm gonna just click here, select the heading one, and I'm gonna create my first text style. So when I click here, you see that all the name that we already was typing before, light, heading, left, is already here. So I have this information, and just to remember, the slash is gonna create folders for us. I'm gonna just remove the style that I don't wanna have this one, and this is it's gonna be my first text style. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the second one, just create here, and you can just do this, okay? Or even faster, you can just select all of them, the last 4 that we didn't create it, and just use the style generator plugin, and you just come here and you just click, and it's gonna show you that they created. Let's go back to the components. On the component sides now, on this tab, now you can see that you have the light and all the headings created right here. Okay, so let's go here. Now we have to create these same text styles to the center. I'm gonna just select all of them, and I'm gonna just drag and drop holding shift option, and I'm gonna just release right here. After releasing here, first thing that I have to do is detach all the text styles. I'm gonna detach first, okay, just click here, detach, and now I'm gonna center. On the bottom here you have the center, and when you click here, the text is already centered, but you cannot see. So to see this visually, you can just tap here on the top, and this is gonna align all the text styles for you. I'm gonna just move around a little bit, and what's gonna happen now, you see the name. The name is like a light heading 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have the left copy. I don't wanna have left copy, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go here on the select layers, and I'm gonna rename it. I'm gonna find and replace here, and when they find slash left copy, you can just replace to the slash center like this, and it's gonna rename all of them for you. You see, pretty fast, right? Just select all of them again, just go to plugins, style generator, and you can just create all of them. 6 already created. Good. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm just gonna duplicate this, and I'm gonna first detach, you guys know, align to the right, and here I'm gonna align to the right again. Now visually I can see this, but what is the problem of this? If you see the name of the layer, Now is center copy. I'm gonna select all of them again, go to the plugin, I'm gonna rename it, find and replace, and you can just type center copy, and you can just rename it this one to right, and rename. Boom, you have all of them already renamed. And now you have to create a text style because there's no text style. You go to again to style generator and you just click here. Perfect. So 6 created. So now you have all the headings done, ready to use. So if you go to components panel here, you see that you have the light and you have all the center, left, right already done for you. Okay. So how you're gonna use this? Let's go here. Let's rename this one Control Command Space, and you have like the emoji panels, and this is gonna be our atomic design. Okay, I'm gonna create a new page now, and this is gonna be the Sandbox. I like the Sandbox. The concept is the same idea of developers. They have a sandbox only to test the code. And basically it's the same idea. We are just creating a space to test what we are creating. I'm gonna create an artboard. You can rename this one Sandbox, just to remember that it's just a test. And you can just start typing anything that you want, just to make sure that this is gonna be another font and we can see the example working, right? I'm gonna just use like let me see, a font that is Monaco. I'm gonna use this font and I'm gonna just duplicate. You can use Command D also just to duplicate some texts here, and you have like a bunch of them. Once you have all this created, you can just come here on this document and you have the light mode, and you can just select whatever size you wanna use. So center heading 2, and basically it's here. Is already created. So here, if I want to change the light for the heading 4 to the right, is already on the right. Of course you cannot see, but once you start typing, you see that is aligned to the right, this one. And if you come here to the first one, this is aligned to the center. If I start typing, you can see that is aligned to the center automatically for you. Okay, so we created the light mode headings, and now we are gonna create the dark mode. To create the dark mode, pretty much is simple. You can just select all of them, and I'm gonna just click here, Command Shift, and I'm gonna bring all of them here. Once you are here, you can just select all of them, and I'm gonna detach first, of course, because all of them are connected to the old text styles. And here we are gonna start changing. First thing, I'm gonna just change the color. We don't need to use white 100%. You can just use another, like almost white. EEE is a good color. Okay. EEE is gonna be our color, so we have all this heading. So if you come here, you see that everything is light. I don't want to do this, and I'm gonna just come here, select all of them, go here to the rename it plugin, and of course the first thing that we are gonna do is just change light to dark and rename it, and now everything is dark here. This is the dark mode. The another problem that we have is like everything is left copy, center copy, right copy. So this is gonna be pretty much easy, because if we come here to the left, just select the left, and on rename it, you can just click here, and left copy is gonna be only left, and rename it. Same thing to the center, you can just rename it, come in here, and you go to the center, copy to center, rename, and this is the same thing for the right. Plugin, rename it, and right, copy, right, and rename it. Now we have all the dark mode ready to go, but we need to create the text styles. So you don't need to create one by one. You just come here on plugins and style generator and just click here, and now it's gonna create 18 in the same time. Just go to the components to check. So you have now all the dark mode here, and you have the light mode, and if you open, of course, you have all of them together here. Let's go back to the layers, to the sandbox, and now you can test. So let me create another sandbox here, but I'm gonna change the background color to like any other color, just to give an example. I'm gonna duplicate this one and just leave it here, and I can just start playing around. I'm gonna select, instead of using the light mode here, I'm gonna start using the dark mode. So I'm gonna use to the right, align it. You see, it's beautiful now because everything is pretty much easy to manage. So to the dark mode, to the right, basically the same thing. And if we have a smaller heading 6, or you can just select 2 in the same time, dark mode, heading 4, left. Okay, good. So you have everything in place right here. Good. The headings they are already ready to use, which is perfect. After, if you need to resize the window, it's fine. You can just organize the best way. Of course, I don't like this, so you can just, after, resize a little bit, trying to organize everything a little bit better on your documentation. I'm gonna create a new page. On this new page, I'm gonna use my shortcut, and I'm gonna rename this one to body. Why I'm gonna use as a body? Because maybe on your body page, on your content, you're gonna use a lot of different size also for your text, and I'm gonna use basically the same one. So you can just come here and you can create an artboard for the body, okay, and you can rename light mode. On this one we can just slash body, just to make a more organized. If you want to go back here and rename it this one to light mode headings, it's fine also, and this one the same, headings like this, and you go just to the body, and we are gonna do basically the same thing. But let's go back. If you check here, Google, they have the body. You can create a subtitle later on, but now we have like a 2 body text, and you have like a button that we are gonna create later, but you have caption and you have overline. So basically these 4 we are gonna create it inside this one. So I'm gonna just come here and I'm gonna start, press T, and this is gonna be the body text. I'm gonna just add like a 333, is the same color that we use it. I'm gonna duplicate this one. This is gonna be the paragraph, okay. And what else we have here? Caption and overline. And I'm gonna add this as caption. And the last one is gonna be overline. For the body, we can use I'm gonna use 18 for the body, and for the paragraph that's gonna be the body 2, I'm gonna use 16. Okay, so this is gonna be 18 to us, and this is gonna be 16, and this is gonna be the caption should be 12 and 10. Okay, so 12, and this is gonna be 10. Of course, it's really small now, and we have to do the same process that we did for the other ones. For this body text, I don't want to use anymore the black, so I can just come here. I'm gonna use Play Fair Display, the same font, but not the black. I'm gonna use the regular one, and the regular one is really small, it's really light, and just to make sure everything's gonna be aligned to the left, and I can align here on the top to make sure everything's gonna be organized. Okay, so I have body, paragraph, caption, overline, all in different size. So same process. In the beginning, body, I'm gonna just add light, and by the end I'm gonna add left. Same thing for the paragraph. Here is gonna be light and left. Caption, light and left. We cannot use rename it because we don't have anything in common like between the other ones, right? So left here. We can just, before we created all the text styles, to speed up, I'm gonna just duplicate all of these, and I'm gonna center, and I'm gonna duplicate this again here and align to the right. Okay, now you have left, that is correct, and you have left copy, and you have left copy 2. To make sure that's gonna be easy, we are gonna use the left copy 2 first to rename. I'm gonna just select all the 4, plugin, rename it. So left copy 2 is gonna be right only, and selecting this one, I'm gonna select, rename it, and left copy, it's gonna be center only. Perfect. I can reduce a little bit, of course, because we don't need all this space right now. I'm gonna just reduce a little bit the artboard size, and I'm gonna create a new artboard here just to create the dark mode. Remember, dark mode, I created a new artboard and body. And for this, I'm gonna just change, let me just check the color that I use it here. I think I use it 222. Okay, I'm gonna go back here, use the same color just to keep everything organized. Okay, I'm gonna basically select all of them and duplicate, shift option and drag and drop here, and I'm gonna change the color. I think it was EE is gonna be our color for this one, but of course now we have all copy. I'm gonna select all of them and remove all the copies in one command. Rename it, find and replace. When you have a space copy like this, you see it's already showing, just replace for nothing. Okay, it's good. And now I'm gonna rename it the light here to dark. So just keep selected, just go here, rename it, find and replace, and I'm gonna change all the light to dark mode, and that's it. Boom. So you have all of them already created. But of course, all of them, there are no text style attached to them. But now it's gonna be pretty much easy because you just come here, because the name is already organized, and that's the most important part. You can just use the plugin, the style generator, come here and create all the styles. If you don't rename it, you see 24 created, if you don't rename it properly in the beginning, it's gonna be a messy. So it's really important that you rename all the layers. Let's go here, back. Now you can see that you have a folder for light and dark mode, and inside you have the body, caption, headings, overline, paragraph, everything organized. Just save the document, and basically everything is organized and saved. I'm gonna finish right now this tutorial because it's gonna be too long for one video. So we are gonna just finish the headings and the body on this tutorial, and on the next tutorial we are gonna do the buttons and form typography. Just to recap really quickly, you need just to organize your headings and creating all the text styles to the center, left and right, and light and dark mode. Let's just test on the Sandbox our headings and body. For example, I'm gonna create a new, or I'm gonna just, instead of creating a new one, I can just make this a little bit bigger so we can test here. I'm gonna just duplicate this one. This is gonna be our heading one. The heading should be like this size, but you see it's already aligned to the right, so I need to do this to the center. Sorry, I selected the left, so now it's aligned to the center. And if you have the craft plugin, I'm gonna just give the link on the description so you can download this one. You have this option here, so you have the headlines. If you click on headlines, you have a bunch of like different subjects. So motivation, and now you have like this discover little known secret for successful living. And now I'm gonna duplicate this one, okay, here, and I'm gonna select the dark mode, a paragraph, but this is gonna be aligned to the left for sure. So this is gonna be my paragraph, or maybe if you want to make like a little bit bigger, you can just use the body, right? I'm gonna body left, and you select this text area, and you can just click here, and you have article now, and you can just select motivation, the same subject, and now you have your article right here. First of all, the heading is like I think this space is too big, so you can come here on the line and you can just click here. You see like on top of line, you can just click and you can just reduce, or you can make more space between the line. Okay, so if it's 96, maybe 100 is gonna be a little bit better. Once you have this line height defined, remember it's the same idea on the layer style that we created in another tutorial. This is gonna be italic, so you have to update. Once you update, this is gonna update your library of headings right here. Okay, you cannot see of course because you don't have two lines, and here is almost the same thing, because if you come here, you have like different paragraphs. I think maybe this one we should just reduce a little bit more the text area here. We don't need like a huge text area like this, and to make sure that it's gonna be more readable here, you can just select and maybe change it a little bit the line height also, you see, and the line height is gonna be a little bit better to read. 32 is gonna be a good number. Here we have two paragraphs. It's an empty paragraph, but if you see here now, probably it's gonna be much better to read the content from your article. I'm gonna just make this faster here. Let me just adjust this. Now I adjusted here, so basically it's worked. So now I have the article already organized, and we can duplicate and just check it out how it's gonna work on the light mode. So you just duplicate this one, and I'm gonna just come here, and instead of using the dark, I'm gonna use the light mode, heading 1, center, and this is gonna be the same. So I'm gonna come here. It's gonna be the light mode, body, left. We need to organize the alignment. This is 100, and this should be 100 also. I'm gonna just type, and I'm gonna update. This alignment, line height is 32. I need to update here, and here is the same thing. 32, and you just update, and basically now it's working, okay, for your new article that you're gonna use. Basically this is how you manage your text styles, and this is gonna be super useful because at least you have like a one standard for everything that you are creating inside your project. Alright, let's end this tutorial by now, and on the next we are gonna just jump into buttons and forms. Just to make sure that this tutorial is not gonna be too long, we just finished doing the headings and also the body text styles, okay? On the next video we are gonna do the same things, the same idea, but creating for text styles for buttons and input fields. It's almost the same idea, but it's like there's a lot of like different stuff that you have to organize. So just to make like this video a little bit short, I'm gonna just do in 2 different videos. Things that you have to keep in mind when you're doing the text styles is always keep everything organized. So rename all the layers. To help you, use the plugins, rename it, and the style generator. So this is gonna help you to create a little bit faster everything. I like to create the light and dark mode also since the beginning, and always pay attention how you are aligning the text styles, just to make sure everything is gonna be perfect. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and see you on the next video.